All right, well, we just interviewed Alex Jones about the movie New World Order. Now we're here with the directors of the film. We have Meyer and Andrew Neel, and I wanted to talk, it premiered last night here at South by Southwest. Talk about how that went.
It was great. It was sold out, and I think some of the audience was pro-Alex, and some of the audience, well, I wouldn't say anti-Alex, but we're not as into the conspiracy thing. And that's good. That's what hopefully the film generates discussion and controversy in that way.
Yeah, how does that play out with the people who see opposing sides of the film?
I think it's an interesting film that way because some people come to the film already kind of believing a lot of the things that come up in the film, and they'll come out just feeling more that way. Other people will enter the film thinking that all this is not true, and they'll come out with that reinforced. And then there are other people who will have a total changed experience in the whole thing. And it's a really interesting film that it has the power to have all those different reactions.
And really, the point of the film wasn't to prove or disprove any of the theories that they're discussing. We really just allowed our subjects to say what they thought was true, and we didn't get into a lot of truth evaluation. It was really about trying to understand what it was like to be someone who believed that stuff that strongly, and what it was like to be behind the scenes with them as they did their journalism, essentially.
And what was the genesis of this film? How did you guys decide to start doing it?
Luke and I had been talking, we're really interested in globalization and the internet, and conspiracies were something that we had just been idly discussing in the office. And our producer, Tom Davis, was kind of a conspiracy enthusiast, really, and he was like, oh, I know all these guys, you should check them out. And so he started introducing us to different characters, and we started checking them out on YouTube, and then from there kind of formulated how we would whittle down all of the theories into some kind of cohesive whole. So we chose the New World Order theory as the primary theory that we were going to concentrate on.
And how did you guys end up working with Alex?
We followed one of the characters, Jim Tucker, to the Bilderberg meeting in Istanbul, which Alex, I think, wanted to go to but couldn't get there. And he had a phone interview with Jim Tucker that extended into a phone interview with us. So Alex got to sort of meet us through an interview on the phone.
He was pretty aggravated with us, actually. It was difficult to get him as a character. It took a lot of work on our part. He'd had a lot of media organizations had come to him and done stuff on him, and I think he had felt not too positive about what had been done on him, and so I think he felt like we were probably just another one, more of the same kind of, and so we had to kind of gain his trust over time, and it wasn't easy at first.
Yeah, I was going to ask how it was working with them, because we have this image of Alex shouting on the streets with a megaphone, and what was he like to work with?
Well, he's actually a very warm, generous person, and charismatic in a lot of ways. Certainly there's a part of, a bombastic part of his personality that he uses on the radio and on camera, and on some of the interviews, when we'd roll, he'd really get into it, and he gets himself revved up, and then he kind of goes into this alter persona of Alex Jones. But there's a very real, kind, good person behind all that, and sort of an interesting philosopher in a weird way too. He has a very interesting take on the world, and it was cool to be able to listen to him pontificate about a lot of that stuff.
And he's so active too. He's a great character to have in a documentary because he's always doing something. It's always something for us to kind of go with him and shoot while he's going up to Dallas to look at the JFK conspiracy and things like that. And at every one of those events we would go to with him, like you were just saying, it's not just where we would be at and what was going on there that he'd be talking about, but it would extend into all these philosophical moments about what this means for people, what this means for the world, and it was just fascinating.
One of the things that we talked to him about was the fact that we're here at South by Southwest Interactive, and he obviously is using citizen journalism, new media, to get his message across. How have you guys personally used the Web 2.0 either in your filmmaking, this particular film, or just with documentaries in general?
Well, Darkon is available on Amazon and on Snag Films and stuff like that, so you can see it streaming online. And I guess, we use
this
web.
film doesn't really have. It's not fully out in the world yet, so it hasn't utilized too much of that about how this film's getting out there. But with how this film came together, there's a lot of things that went into it that have to do with what you're talking about. I mean, the way we learned about characters, the way we familiarized with who they are, was almost all through seeing videos that they'd made or were in on the web.
It's pretty prevalent online in this group of people.
Yeah, definitely, and also just you've seen the film. There's archival moments in there, and figuring out what made sense to use in those moments. All that stuff is in some form available on the web, so we were able to kind of sculpt the film, trying different parts like that out, and that all came from
Yeah, I mean, I think
too.
YouTube has become a tremendously important part of filmmakers' pre-production lexicon. You know, it's like everything. You know, you're always referencing YouTube. You're looking up either clips of movies or characters or some strange moment in reality that you found there that you're referencing in what you're going to create, or stuff off the news that you think you might cite. And so it's really become an important echo chamber for media makers, I think.
More than just getting your message out, it's a tool.
Yeah.
That's great.
Yeah.
Is there anything else you'd like to add to address the people out there in interactive land?
No, not so much.
All right, well, the film is New World Order. We're here with Luke and Andrew, and thanks very much for being with us today.
Thanks for having us.